Time now for The Real Estate Connection with Stephen Theard, a realtor and certified probate and real estate specialist. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned investor looking to downsize, move up, or refinance, this program is for you.
A house in the middle of our street.
From probate sales to landscape design to home repairs and maintenance, this is your weekly look into all things real estate. Now your host for The Real Estate Connection, Stephen Theard.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Yes, it's cold. Yes, it's cold. I'm wearing a sweater today and a cowboy hat because it is cold at the home base at the Real Estate Connection and Good Patriot Realty. It is cold. The temperatures have dropped. Brr. So if you're anywhere near a fire, you should definitely start it right now. Oh, I can hear it. Can you hear the bonfire? Anyway, welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Connection, brought to you by Good Patriot Realty. Salute to home ownership. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me again today. Today's show is going to be exciting. We're talking about next year. Can you believe it? We're almost done with 2023. Yes, you have survived. So here is a round of applause for you. We have survived some tumultuous times in 2023. The economy was wild. We had inflation through the roof, interest rates skyrocketing, the price of gas and food, all kinds of stuff going on in our economy. People worried about making their payments for cars and houses, paying the bills. Thank God for those refinances back in, 2021 and 2022 to 3%. So all of you who have mortgages were able to refinance before the storm hit. And so you could still afford to keep your house. What a blessing. What a blessing. But if you have any questions about real estate regarding your personal property, whether you're looking to sell or buy in the future, give Good Patriot Realty a call. Stephen Theard at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. I'm going to loosen this up. I feel a little stiff. All right, there we go. Show a little t-shirt action. There we go. All right. So without any further ado, we're just going to jump right into the topic of today's podcast, and that is preparing your home for the 2024 spring selling season as it approaches. Now, if you are a first responder or in the military, I want to remind you of our rebate program for military members and first responders. If you're thinking about selling a home or buying a home in the spring of 2024, we've partnered with Honoring the Brave to offer you, for sellers, a 10% discount of our commission. Actually, it's a rebate, a 10% rebate of our commission for sellers, with another 5% of our commission going to the charity of your choice. And for buyers, a 10% rebate subject to escrow restrictions and lender approval of your buyer commission, and another 5% going back to the charity of your choice. And the icing on the cake is a custom made wood American flag as a gift and a thank you for your service for defending the American dream of home ownership. And so we want to give our first responders and military service members and veterans a round of applause right now. Thank you for your service. Okay, so now is the time to start preparing for the 2024 spring selling season. Interest rates are starting to come down and buyers will be out in force in the spring. I'm telling you, this is what happens. We run in cycles all the time. They push it to the very, very top and you think you can't take it anymore. And then they start to come back a little bit. So now we're seeing rates come down into the 7s. And for VA loans, if you have your VA benefit, they're even in the 6s. However, if you're just a regular civilian like the rest of us and did not serve, unfortunately, you still can get your rates down lower by buying down the rate. And that means paying 1%, 1.5%, 2% of whatever your loan amount is to the bank up front to then get locked in a lower interest rate. If you have any questions about that, reach out and call me, 408-472-0817, or if you're in my email list or podcast um, distribution list, or you just subscribed to Apple Podcasts, you can contact me through those platforms or via phone. And don't forget, we're on Spotify and iHeartRadio. So interest rates are coming down. So I fully expect that activity will pick up in the spring as people actually did get used to these higher interest rates. And now that they're coming down, they're seeing it as a benefit. We're also in an election year, 2024, massive major election year. And whenever an incumbent president is looking to get reelected, no matter what party they're in, they're trying to make the economy look as good as possible. So we may be looking at some of that where we may see the Fed, if they're on the side of the incumbent, actually start to reduce the short-term borrowing rate, and then maybe that will affect our mortgage rates as well. So, and you may be asking me, Stephen, what are you talking about the spring 2024 selling season? Yes, real estate is seasonal. Traditionally, buyers start to really hit the market hard after the end of the Super Bowl. Why? Because it is the last official U.S. holiday of the winter and a signal that spring has begun. Now, used to not always be this way, but generally speaking, that's the last holiday. You have Christmas, which is the penultimate, and then you have New Year's, which is kind of like, it's the new year. It's never as good as Christmas. There's no family coming together and exchanging gifts and all that stuff. You have a New Year's Eve party, but then you have the playoffs, and then you have the division championships, and then you have the NFC and AFC championship games, and then you're anticipating the Super Bowl, and the weather, it might be starting to get a little better as we're rocking out of these winters, and people are getting together for this last big major event throughout the entire country. And then once that's over, you got baseball and maybe some leftover hockey that's coming up, and it's just not that gathering spot that you have nationally that a Super Bowl represents. And most people will then start looking for a house if they are planning on buying and moving their family into either a bigger house or another property, right? So most families start their home shopping in the spring so that the process will be complete before the next school year begins. And as you know, parents that are listening to me right now, you know that our summers are much, much shorter. Back in the ancient days of the 80s, when I was going to high school, man, you had 3 months of summer. You were out in June and you didn't hit the books again until September. But now the school year is much longer, which with more breaks during the school year. And I know, parents, it's really tough on you having to always be home every other week because your kid seems to always be home for some reason. But that's the way of the new landscape. But the summer is short. June, July, and then we're already talking about going back to school in August. So people want to get their buying done in the spring, be settled in their new home, and being prepared for the next school year. And even if you kind of get late in the season, you want to be done by July and not messing around with it in August when kids are starting to go back to school. So sellers, you have to take advantage of when the most qualified buyers are in the market because they are ready. They've been waiting, and the best houses tend to hit the market also in the spring, and you want your house to be counted as one of those best houses. So why we start planning now is we start planning 3 months in advance. So generally speaking, it takes between 45 to 60 days to get a house prepared for sale. All right. The 30-day extra cushion allows you time to take care of unexpected issues that come up in the preparation process. All right. So what steps do you need to take to prepare your house for sale? Let's work from the outside all the way in. All right. So we're going to hit the exterior first. Front yard and rear yard. General yard cleanup. All right. So this is just common sense stuff. If you've got trash or you've been stockpiling wood or you've been kind of collecting things for a project that you're not going to ever complete and you need to clean out the backyard from that kind of stuff, or the front yard is maybe not as well maintained as it was when you first purchased the house, here is the time to do that. Now is the time to get started, especially in the winter when your plants and foliage aren't growing as much. It's a good time to cut back because when the spring hits, it's going to bloom and fill in, and you don't have to worry about cutting it back over and over again. Like a lot of us aren't mowing our grass in the wintertime because a lot of grass goes dormant and doesn't grow very much. So this is a great time to do yard cleanup. Also, you're going to want to create curb appeal. The house should look appealing as new buyers drive up. You want your lawn to be green and healthy. You want to cut back overgrown plants and shrubs, and fill in bare spots with bark. Power wash patios, concrete areas, and where needed, and plant colorful flowers. Now, I'm going to say the planting of colorful flowers should come last as you're getting ready to put the house on the market, because it's cold. You're going to get freezes, and you're not going to want to be planting bright, colorful flowers right now. But now's the time, if you have an overgrown yard, either in the front and the back, to start tackling that one weekend at a time and not try to cram it all together 2 weeks before you want to get your house on the market. Give yourself a break. Slow and steady wins the race instead of trying to sprint to the finish line, because you'll find that you'll start uncovering things as you start the cleanup process. You'll be like, oh, there's a broken sprinkler. Oh, I didn't notice that this old hose is still here. Trust me, everything takes a half an hour. So just get started early. Repairs. Talk about broken sprinklers. Make sure all sprinklers are functioning properly. Path and walkway lights are functioning. Exterior features such as outdoor kitchens, hot tubs, pools present well and functioning. All right, now is also for part 2 of the exterior, which is exterior home cleanup and repairs. So repair broken or cracked windows if you may have any. Repair or replace loose or old shutters. Repair or replace old gutters and downspouts, and any issues related to damaged walls, and before you may potentially paint. And we're going to talk about that. But I had a listing in Hollister about 5 years ago. The guy had backed his truck into the side of the garage door, and there was a hole in the drywall. Couldn't sell a house that way, right? So we at Good Patriot Realty, actually I was with Coldwell Banker at the time, let's be honest, but it was still me. I hired my handyman, who's really fantastic. If you need a handyman for anything, give me a call, 408-472-0817, 408-472-0817. He's fantastic, all right? Does great work. But he repaired the stucco that was dented in and painted. And when he was done, you couldn't even tell there was a hole there. So that's the kind of stuff you want to take care of. Repairs. Holes in fences. This is the time to take care of that fence that may be leaning, has a few boards missing. Just do it. Get it fixed. All right. For the exterior, paint, and more paint. Now is the time to invest in exterior walls of your home. The cost of painting will give you a 100% return on your investment if done correctly. And I'm not talking about the quality of the paint job. I'm talking about the color. If you pick a really hot contemporary color, here's your chance to upgrade your home for not a lot of money to create a ton of curb appeal and make your house look very attractive. People start buying a home as they drive up to it. It's not just the exterior, because they're thinking, whoa, what a great property. Then they're thinking, wow, I'd really like to have my friends over to see this place. Or wouldn't it be great to entertain here? People buy with their eyes and their heart when it comes to residential real estate. And you want to appeal to the eyes and to the heart always when it comes to residential real estate. Trust me, I've done this before many times. I have case studies. We have come in, painted the exterior of homes, gone in, painted the interior of homes, and even if they're empty, it just can upgrade a house, even if it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. Paint covers a multitude of sins. Okay, all right. So, also, verify all exterior lights are functioning and replace or upgrade exterior light fixtures if they are broken and outdated. I remember doing this a while ago for my own personal property. We had these really small exterior lights around the garage. You know the ones. You turn on your exterior lights and people can see the walkway to walk up to the front porch. Doing some research, found out that really big exterior light fixtures just look like old-fashioned carriage lights, add a ton of character to the exterior of your home. So if you're going to replace your exterior lights, you are going to want to go big and dramatic, but stylish and classy. We don't want what is it called? Uh bodacious or over the top type of stuff, right? You don't want anything that's really outlandish. The size is important, but you want to keep it classy, keep it contemporary, right? It will upgrade your house along with the paint. All right. Also, make sure garage doors are functioning and paint them as well if necessary. If you have a wood garage door and the paint's cracking, and you paint the rest of the house and you leave that, it's just not going to look right. So now's the time to get that done. All right, now let's move on side to the interior of your home. Okay, this is where we get into the nitty gritty. They've driven up to the house. The outside looks great. The backyard looks great. All the flowers, the plants, the new paint. They walk inside and then boom, you hit a wall. The house is a dud, right? You want to create the excitement from the exterior and carry it on inside to the interior. Don't mess this up. Do not mess this up. Here's your chance. Okay, first, what do you start with? Declutter. Consider this pre-packing. You're moving, right? You're moving. You're leaving this house and going to another house. You got to pack anyway, right? Start packing now. That's why I say 60 to 90 days, because it takes time, especially if you've been in a house a long time. You've got more stuff than you realize. We all do. We just accumulate things over the years, and you get really creative about how to tuck them away or stack them or organize them. And you start pulling out a box, and then there's another box and another box, and you're like, I'm just in the coat closet, right? Start now. Declutter. Pre-pack. You want to take down items that personalize the home or make it look small, right? Because you're living in the house for your comfort. You're not living in the house to sell it. When you're selling a house, it's a totally different approach. You want to create a product that people want to buy. And when your house is crammed full of stuff and big furniture, it's hard for people to see the product. You want them to see what they're buying. So pack it away. And you want to depersonalize it because you want people in their minds, in their eyes, and in their heart to be able to see themselves living in the space. And the bigger it is and the less personalized it is, the more people can do that. All right. We said take out the bulky items. And then also, when you start taking all this stuff down, what's going to happen is you're going to notice things that need to be fixed or repaired. Because when you have a lot of stuff in your house, it just covers things up. And we have short-term memories. You forget that, hey, there's like this scratch in the wall or this indent in the wall, and you've covered it up like 5 years ago, and you're living life and you're paying bills and you're taking care of the kids and you're doing all the things. And then you move that item out of the way and you go, oh, that's right, I got to fix that. And that's one more thing added to the list. So the decluttering process and the packing process allows you to see more of what may need to be fixed or taken care of before you put the house on the market. Which leads us to fix or repair all notable issues. All right, start with the basics. Repair holes, clean stains, repair leaky faucets, replace stained toilets. You know, the one that's got the calcification or the stain in it, and no matter how hard you scrub it, you can't get it out. When people come and look at your house, they're going to look at the toilets. And people just kind of have this sense of, I want it clean. So if you can't get it cleaned, invest a couple $100 and replace the toilet, right? Just get it done. Repair any damaged floors. If you have carpet that have holes in the floors and you cannot fix it, we'll get into replacing carpet, small project. Or holes in the linoleum, things like that. If you can repair it, do so. All right. So then we're in the repair place. All right. Um, repair any broken windows. That was exterior and interior, right? Because you got a window you're looking at from the inside. And finished. Okay, this is the one for all you guys, all you handymen out there who are listening to this, and all you wives that are listening to this. And as soon as I say this, it's going to go ding, ding, ding in your head. And you're going to say, I told him to do this. We're going to sell the house. Finish all unfinished DIY projects. If you started a project, you've got to get it done. And if you can't get it done because you don't have the time, because the job's calling and work's calling and you got to earn a living, now's the time to get a contractor or a handyman in there to finish it up for you. If you need somebody, give me a call. 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. You have to finish these DIY projects before you put the house on the market. And since everybody else, and I mean everybody else, is doing the same thing, start now. Because if you wait till the last minute and you start making these phone calls, what you're going to find is that the contractors and the handymen are busy. Because spring is busy for them for this very reason. So you want to get this attacked early. And wives, go easy on your husbands. They mean well. They're trying to save money. They're trying to be a man and do the right thing. And that's good. Okay, it's good. But you want to gently approach him and say, we might consider hiring someone if you really don't feel that you have the time to get this done. And even if he says he does, he might get into it and come back to you later and say, you know what, I really don't. Plant the seed. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let's move on to the next issue. Interior. Carpet and paint. Carpet and paint. We just talked about this a little bit. If you've lived in your house for a long time, more than 10 years, right? And it's carpet, there just might be some parts of your carpet that are just gone, right? Because they're not making things like they used to anymore. I'm not putting the blame on you. Let's put it on the manufacturers of materials, because the carpet that was being made in the 1920s versus the carpet that's being made in 2020, totally different, right? They're using cheaper materials. It's not meant to last. They're building in obsolescence anyway, so that they'll get you to come back and buy new carpet, right? Unless you pay for high quality carpet, right? This may be past the point of no return. So if it is, just replace it. You're gonna get all your money back. You will get all of your money back. The inventory is still low. Interest rates are coming down. That means more buyers, less homes to buy. You're still gonna make your money. You want your house to sell. That's the goal. Get it sold. You're moving on. Replace the carpet. Paint. If you haven't painted the interior of your house in 10 years, it may be in need of paint. Not only because there might be areas of your house that just need to be painted, but maybe the color has passed its point of functional use, meaning it's just not in anymore, right? Times have moved on. Different colors are now in. People find it more appealing. Here's the time to paint the interior and upgrade your house, just like you did on the exterior. Upgrade your house on the interior to make it more contemporary, more appealing to more people, because this is how it works. The more people that are looking at your house who want to buy it, the bigger that number is, the more money you're going to get. That's just how it goes. So when we put a house up for sale, after all of this has been done, and we've walked through all of it, we look at numbers. And if the websites that we have your house on are clicking off big numbers right away, we know that it's a hot commodity. And when it's a hot commodity, it's going to sell for more money. Now, the market's different. We're not dealing with 2018, 2019, 2020, where we're seeing all these multiple offers like $100,000 over asking. But inventory is still tight, and people are still paying a premium for what we call turnkey properties, where you can just put the key in, turn it, unlock the door, walk in, and put your stuff down without doing any DIY or hiring contractors to do any work. And that's what you're shooting for, right? The buyers buy with their eyes and with their heart. You want the eyes in check. And then it just depends on whether or not your home in its location and its layout appeals to the heart of a person. And you can't control that. That's just, there's nothing you can do about it, right? But you can work on the eyes. And is it appealing to people with the eyes? So carpet and paint, modernize your interior. New carpet to complement the new paint, right? Do a modern color. Here's your opportunity to upgrade the house without doing a full kitchen and bath remodel. Trust me, this stuff works. I've been doing real estate for 17 years, and carpet and paint, carpet and paint, carpet and paint cover a multitude of sins. All right, now let's jump into minor upgrades, right? We're not talking about major renovations. We're talking about minor upgrades that you may consider doing if you have the time and the cash flow. All right, consider new fixtures in the bathrooms and kitchens if they are old and outdated. Talking about faucets. We're talking about toilets. Fixtures in the kitchen, same thing. Faucets. Handles on hardware on the doors and your kitchen cabinets. Things of like that. And hardware in the bathroom as well. Consider painting bathroom and kitchen cabinets to modernize or to make the colors neutral. If you're still rolling with the yellowish, golden brown tones of the 80s, this might be the time to paint those cabinets white. Or, there's some modern colors going on right now. We're seeing some teals and blues with gold, not brass of the 80s, but gold, kind of goldish brass hardware that's really in vogue right now. And if you're going to have to paint your cabinets anyway, why not pick a nice color that you may go check out the big websites. HGTV has a lot of that stuff. Check out Pinterest. Go searching for what appeals to you in a contemporary way that's appealing to a lot of people, and roll the dice. You might get, 10 or 15,000 more dollars, right? But be conservative. We don't want orange, right? Be conservative, but go for it. Do something more contemporary. Here's your opportunity. Consider replacing interior doorknobs on your doors, changing out the kind of the creamy outlets and plugs to white. Pops more with new paint. It's a lot of work though, because believe it or not, you have a lot in your house, so it can get expensive too, and that's where you're going to want to hire somebody else to do it instead of you doing it yourself. And consider replacing outdated light fixtures in your home. So whether they're brass or they're just, not in today's contemporary feel, go to a place like Lamps Plus and pick up some lights and you'll be fine. And you can update the interior of your house with just a couple of fixtures, right? All right, so if you want to go into more medium upgrades, if you have the time or money, you may consider putting in new kitchen or bathroom countertops and a backsplash. I'm not talking about remodeling the kitchen. I'm talking if you have Formica or you have tile, and you can go to some of these granite outlets and get pretty good deals and find somebody to take out the countertops and install new granite and paint, right? That is what we call a medium project. You can do the same thing in the bathroom. Installing a new kitchen backsplash, if you don't have one, put one in. These are what we call medium projects because it does take contractors' time and energy and money, right? But it can have a dramatic effect on your home and the amount of money you get out of it, okay? Replacing shower doors if they just can't get clean, or you want to modernize the look of your shower, or refinishing or replacing a bathtub. For us, when we remodeled, we had a cast iron tub dating back to the 60s, and they don't make these things anymore, right? I mean, the tubs that you see in houses now are made of fiberglass, plastic. This is a cast iron tub, and it's big. And so you can refinish those, reglaze them, and they look beautiful. It takes a couple of days, and it takes maybe a week to totally cure and dry. But man, your bathtub shower combination will just be elevated. And there's nothing better than sitting in a cast iron or iron tub with the porcelain over it and just the warmth of how it warms up with the water. It's really cool. So you may want to consider that. All right, let's jump into major upgrades. All right. So these are your classics. Kitchen remodel. If you're going to do it, you got to start now. It takes a couple of months. If you're going to make the spring selling season, you don't want to get on the market any later than towards the end of March if you really want to catch it. So if you're going to remodel a kitchen, you got to do it now but it's cold outside. It's a pain in the neck. Just say it. We should probably be thinking about these things maybe a couple of months ago. Bathroom remodel, that's something that can really add value if it absolutely has to happen. There also are ways if you're cash deficient or cash poor and you're considering doing these major upgrades, there are companies that will come in and do this work and take their payment at close of escrow. So if you're sitting on a lot of equity and you expect to get a big return on your investment, which kitchen remodels and bathroom remodels do, there are companies that I work with that will come in and do the remodel work and then get paid at close of escrow. So if you're short on cash, you can still get it done. So don't let that stop you. If you have questions about that, give me a call, 408-472-0817, or shoot me an email. I'd be happy to talk to you about those programs that are out there because that's just the way the economy is. And it's been rough and tough. And so people may not have the cash they need to do a major project like this. All right. What's another major project? I consider a major project a new roof because it requires pulling permits. And it's a big project, and it's something it's tough to get done in the wintertime, but I've seen it happen, right? You can still get it done, especially if you're coming out of winter and into the spring months. They can replace a roof in a week. So you might want to schedule something now if your roof really needs it. And new fences. If your fence is just tired and old and it just doesn't look good and you've been putting it off, now's the time to do a new fence. That's a major upgrade. All right, so we've done all of it. We've looked at the exterior of the home. We've looked at the interior of the home, repairs, finished projects, decluttering, all that good stuff. It's all coming together, and you're just about an inch away. You're a hair away from putting the house on the market. What are your final preparations? Your final preparations are being, first of all, a deep cleaning. You just want to hire somebody to come in and clean the living daylights out of the house. It's going to make the house smell fresh. It's going to be great on how it looks and how it presents. If you're coming out of winter and we've had a lot of rain, you're going to want to clean the windows, interior and exterior windows, to make sure that they look clear. And then staging. It just helps. I can't explain it. It's a phenomenon in California. I don't see it in every state. I watch a lot of house hunters. I'm a big fan. All right. I do watch a lot of house hunters, and I see people looking for houses on the East Coast. The East Coast, people don't stage. You get what you get, man. These people are living in the house. They got stuff everywhere, and these houses sell. But all out here in California, in the West, in the wild, wild West, we don't mess around. People stage their homes. They bring in the furniture and the decorations on the wall and make the kitchen look all nice and welcoming, and the bathrooms with towels and plants. It just is a thing, and people eat it up. They love it, and it helps sell your house. So if you know that's going to go down, you got to do it. You got to do it. You just got to do it. I know it's another expense, but listen, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in California. We're not talking about a $150,000 house out in Kentucky or Kansas, and those places are going up now too. We're talking about California, where you can't get a condo for $500,000, right? If you have a single family home in the Bay Area, in San Jose, last I checked, the median price for that baby was $1.8 million, right? So 10 grand, $7,500, $5,000 to stage a house so you can potentially pull out $1 million in cash. It's worth the investment because people are spending big money out in California. It's important. So if you have questions about staging, call me, talk to me, email me. I will answer your questions. There are staging companies out there too that will take payment in escrow. They will come stage your house and not ask for any money. When that house sells, they get paid. People are willing to take a risk on you. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a win-win situation. You get your house sold, you get more money, they get paid. then you love them, they love you, you tell the world about them, they make more money, get more business, everyone's happy. I love it. Real estate's one of the places on earth still where you can negotiate your pricing and your commissions and set it up, and it's an open marketplace. People are making offers and negotiating deals like it doesn't happen anywhere else except for real estate in the United States of America. It's actually fantastic. It's a great profession. Can drive you crazy sometimes, but it's a great profession. Last but not least, and I mentioned this earlier, external flowers. All right. And the bark. If you've got bare spots in your yard and you don't want to plant new plants, that's fine. That's fine. We clean up all the weeds. We throw down a bunch of tan bark. It looks nice. It just does. People will be like, oh, you just threw some bark down. But guess what? When you walked up to the house, you liked it. And when you take pictures of the house, it looks good. The eyes. We're appealing to the eyes. Flowers, beautiful, bright, vibrant flowers in the front of the house as people walk up, and tan bark. I know it doesn't sound like much, but sometimes just keeping it simple, less is more. Less is more. Where have you heard that before? All right. So with that, let me reach into my desk. All right, you're going to hear a little crinkling. All right. I got to leave you with something. Oh, before that, one more commercial. If you are thinking about selling, I just want to remind you this. Check out our rebate program for military members and first responders. Again, Good Patriot Realty has partnered with Honor the Brave to offer you, for a seller, if you are a first responder, a U.S. military service member, or a veteran, right, a 10% rebate on our commission for selling your house, and another 5% of that commission will go to the charity of your choice. If you're supporting Wounded Warrior Project or Homes for Heroes, or you want to donate to a charity that tries to get veterans off the street, or mental health for veterans, because we're losing veterans every day to suicide. If you want to donate to a charity, we want to help you do that, right? So we'll give another 5%, and then on a U.S. American flag wood that you can proudly display in your house on your wall. And as a thank you from me to you, from the nation to you, for protecting our freedom and protecting the American dream of home ownership, right? That's what Good Patriot Realty is all about. It's a salute to home ownership, to the American dream of building generational wealth and protecting private property rights. That's what our nation was built on. Go get yourself 40 acres and a mule, right? Go out west and stake your claim. Become a rancher or a farmer, right? Provide food and meat to your community, right? And sustain people in the West. That's what it's all about. And that American dream is still alive today. So that's why we want to thank you, first responders, U.S. military service members, veterans. You defend that. You defend the American dream of home ownership. And I want to leave this for you and all the civilians out there, right? Here we go. Because our first responders and our U.S. military service members and veterans have already done this, and we do this every day. You get up, you put on your boots, you go outside, you go to work, you fight for the survival of your family and feeding and people and keeping a roof over your head. I want to remind you of this. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. Again, if you have any questions about anything on today's program, let me know. Contact me via email, contact me via phone, contact me through any of the podcasting services where you can send messages, and give me a thumbs up on any of those services, and write a review. I'd love to get some reviews from you guys. And if you have any suggestions for future shows, I'd love to know what those are too. All right, so if you want to subscribe and you want to join up for the podcast, go here, Apple Podcasts. Look for my name, Stephen Theard. Just type it in there, Apple Podcasts. I'm the only one. Very unique name. It'll pop up. The Real Estate Connection. Look for us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Look for the Real Estate Connection logo. You'll see me in the cowboy hat, in the gray cowboy hat, Stephen Theard. Just type that in, search that in. Also, just one more time, we really do love you guys. Thank you for your service, and we appreciate you. And with that, we're just going to give you this good old California sunrise over the Golden Gate Bridge. All right. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much. And early Merry Christmas to everyone who's listening. And we'll see you next week. We're going to do like a little Christmas show, a little short one, to celebrate the reason for the season. All right, we'll see you next time on another episode of The Real Estate Connection, brought to you by Good Patriot Realty. A salute to home ownership.
This has been The Real Estate Connection with Realtor and Certified Probate and Real Estate Specialist Stephen Theard. Licensed Cal BRE number 0170019. For more information on this program, visit realestateconnectionradio.com. To contact Stephen directly, call 408-472-0817 or email info@realestateconnectionradio.com. And be sure to tune in next week at this time for The Real Estate Connection.